Good. Reacting to the hunt for America's deadliest hitman.
It's 1978. Jose is 16 years old. He lives with his family on a ranch near Irlamar, Tulare County.
16 is crazy.
It's a beautiful
to start
place,
your crime
surrounded by Californian vineyards. One day, his sister Cecilia has a request.
So when they told me, hey bro, can you take me to India to meet this guy? I said, sure, sister, why not? And I took my sister to this little house to find her stupid friend. Well, I didn't feel comfortable going inside with her. Okay, months passed by and she never came home.
This nigga can't be that deadly, right? You just start looking after your sister months later. Like, bro, she's been gone for days and you decide it's a good idea to just
First,
wait.
they found her car.
Oh.
And then they found her body.
Jose was the last person to see Cecilia alive, but when he made a witness statement,
I didn't want to give the full explanation because I want to get them. I didn't want the cops to find them. I want to find them myself.
Wait, okay, look, right? A nigga kill your sister. You slime like that too. Is this nigga really that bad of a person?
We went to this little house. We broke in there, and we found one, I shot him.
he then went on to shoot 2 more people who were also in the house.
Niggas!
A cold-blooded triple homicide.
Cold-blooded? Man, that's not cold-blooded.
In the following
Nigga, slime my
decades,
sister.
Jose will kill more than 30 people. What begins with a young act of revenge ends in one of the most ruthless hitmen for the Mexican drug cartels.
Okay.
His victims are scattered across the entire U.S., and of course, in his home county of Tulare. He has taken the lives of both young and old, drug dealers and farm workers, fathers and husbands. It will take over 30 years and police from 3 different states to bring him down.
Now I hope
This
he
is
has
the story
reasons for the
of
other
Jose
ones,
Manuel
too.
Martinez,
Otherwise, it's
Mano
crazy.
Negra, the Black Hand, one of America's deadliest hitmen.
El Mano, nigga. Okay.
We love animation and deep research, but it's expensive. That's why we have sponsors on this channel. We are grateful that the truly amazing platform Brilliant is supporting us.
Shut up, nigga.
Which is, when you meet him, he is the most charming person you will ever meet.
This is Jessica Garrison, a journalist and author. In 2017, she met Jose in prison for a BuzzFeed News investigation and her book, The Devil's Harvest.
I hate rapists.
The crazy name.
The perspective of his family was that he was the person in the family who always took care of them. If you were in the hospital, he was the person that would come visit you. If the hospital wouldn't let you in, he was the person that would find a way to like hoist children up to the window so they could wave at you. I think he was not a person who anyone who just first met him ever suspected of being a multiple murderer.
How does
Okay,
a
but
polite,
look,
loving
right?
family man turn into a mass murderer?
Who is he killing? Because if he's killing like
Martinez is born in 1962 in Fresno,
and
California. He's a U.S. citizen, but he grows up in Mexico
EDPs, is he
until
really
the
that
age
bad of a
11.
man?
He then moves with his family to a ranch near Irlamar. At the time, Tulare is the poorest county in
I haven't seen
California.
him. He ain't done
His
nothing wrong
stepfather
yet.
organizes laborers for the wine industry, and as a side business, deals drugs. At the age of 14, Martinez is sent on his first drug courier trip by bus. Later, he uses his own car. As a bilingual, US-born teenager, Martinez can easily stay under the radar of authorities. In 1977, the police raid his family's ranch. They confiscate $2.5 million worth.
Nigga 17? Slime 3 niggas and immediately he skipped from level 1 to 100. 2.5 million of heroin?
Heroin and various weapons. Then in 1978, while his stepfather was in custody,
nigga's playing
Cecilia
Payday.
is murdered. Martinez said that he was a nice man until they killed his sister. Since then, he said fuck the rapers and the child molesters.
Really a villain? At all?
So he did in 1979. His first victim is David Bedoya. A friend tells Martinez that Bedoya raped his sister. Martinez does the job for $500.
What?
His first murder for money.
This
In
nigga's
1982,
like
he meets a
Robin
man
Hood,
from a Mexican drug cartel,
but getting
most
rid of
likely
the
Sinaloa.
pedos.
He only refers to him as Mr. X.
They get off too easy, justice-wise.
Mr. X was involved in the moving of large amounts of narcotics, drugs from, Mexico through California and to
Okay.
points beyond. And Mr. X, gave Mr. Martinez numerous jobs killing people.
What kind of people were
Not
they, though?
every job for Mr. X is directly related to murder.
Okay.
Most of the time, Martinez is tasked with collecting debts from small-time drug dealers. He receives his assignment through
Alright.
phone calls or brief
That's where he started to mess up, right? If you're killing niggas over $400 because, like, they didn't pay, then you're actually committing a crime, right? But if you just get rid of niggas who really are dead weight to society anyways because they want to be rapists, then
personal meetings.
A lot
Really
of
just
it
a
is
death penalty.
sold on spec. I give you the drugs, you sell the drugs, you give some of the money back to me,
Yeah,
right?
like
But if
GTA.
you take the drugs and you don't give the money back to me, we have a problem. Then Jose Martinez would go and collect that money.
Martinez does end up in jail several times. For example, in 1990 because of his drug courier activities. But he is never charged with his murders.
So this
That's
nigga
weird,
sucks at everything
because
else
his name
but
does
killing.
appear in several homicide cases going back all the way to 1979.
I mean, it's fine. If you turn up in one murder case, maybe that's bad luck. 2, maybe a coincidence. 7 or 8, you gotta be like, what's happening here?
In hindsight, it's difficult to understand why no one connected the dots back then. It will take many years and several victims before
If I was a cop and I know a nigga who was convicted of grape juice got gone. Oops, I don't know what happened to him. Inconclusive investigation.
someone picks up Martinez's trail. November 2006.
Of course it's
Martinez
Florida.
flies to Florida to
Yep.
deal with a 20-year-old named Javier Huerta.
Whoa.
Javier is accused of stealing 10 kilograms of cocaine worth around $170,000. Martinez keeps a close eye on Huerta for a few days, and then he decides to strike.
I called Javier Huerta. They told me that you're a Missouri worker, and I want you to come so you can give me an estimate price on my house. They got in. I locked the door. When I turned out, I had my guns out. My hit the floor, and this is good one I tell you. You stole 10 kilos from cocaine from me. If you don't get my money in 30 minutes, I'm gonna call my friend that is outside your house, and he's gonna shoot your family.
Wow. Okay. Now this nigga's a villain. Okay. When he started sliming, he didn't do nothing wrong. They slimed his sister. He slimed everybody involved. That's 1-to-1 ratio. Now he's doing it for the love of the game. And this is where
Martinez gets the money. $150,000 are buried in Huerta's garden.
wait.
He shoots Huerta and his colleague 4 times each.
Okay, now
He binds
look.
their hands
Them niggas gave you the money.
with zip ties and puts their bodies in Huerta's truck. He takes the car and drives it to the outskirts of a national park, smoking a cigarette on the way,
Smoking
perhaps
their
to
pack.
calm down.
That's crazy.
After the job, Martinez flies directly to his daughter's home in Alabama. His granddaughter is celebrating her birthday. He wants to use the money he just earned to make her happy.
I got her. I took her to Toys R Us, where a kid can be a kid. I told her, babe, because I love you with all my heart, me and you, we're gonna walk in the store, and for 1 hour, you can pick whatever you want, okay?
While Martinez is treating his granddaughter at Toys R Us, investigators in Florida discover Huerta's truck
You
with
almost
the 2
can't be
dead
mad
bodies.
at this nigga.
They find a Mountain Dew can in the center console of the vehicle, with a cigarette butt laying in a puddle of the yellow-green liquid. They send the cigarette butt to a lab to check for
Yeah,
DNA
I was gonna
traces,
say,
but the test is not conducted right away.
you got cooked on
The
that, man.
evaluation probably isn't a big priority. Huerta was a construction worker and had many co-workers in the car with him, so investigators had little hope of a hit. In fact, the results won't reach them until years later. Martinez escapes conviction for the murder of Huerta,
Fire the nigga who let him get away with that.
at least for the time being. In 2009, Martinez kills a man named Joaquin Barragan in Erlemart for $8,000.
What do you do to
He
him?
used a woman as a lure. She brought drugs from Barragan, contacting Martinez when the meeting was set.
Oh my god.
3 days later,
That is a crazy visual.
Barragan's body is found under a
Not that
blanket,
like that. Kill me
his hands
again.
bound with zip ties. The police question many people in Erlemart about the murder. They learn that Barragan knew he was being pursued by a contract killer known as El Mano Negra, the Black Hand.
El Mono nigga.
A woman tells investigators that Martinez tried to hire her to lure Barragan to a remote location. Others say that El Mano Negra is in fact Martinez's nickname.
She's dead. Now she's
The
dead.
investigators don't have enough evidence against him, but they still decide to make a move. They arrest Martinez for violating probation, but when they knock on his door, he scrambles out his phone, removes the SIM card, and swallows it. Nothing else on there can incriminate him. When the police question Martinez, he claims that everyone in Erlemart is lying, and that he didn't kill Barragan. They send him to prison anyway for violating his probation terms.
Okay. Alright.
The Chevy Equinox is more than an SUV.
I want YouTube Premium!
And gearbox.
Okay.
When Martinez gets out of prison about a half a year later, he directly marches to the Violent Crime Division of the Tulare County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
He wants his white Chevy Suburban back that the police had seized from him. Martinez agrees to answer a few questions
the odds
from
he
the
has
police
drugs
in
in
return. He hints that he is a collector for a Mexican drug cartel from Guadalajara, and he also claims to know that Barragan was murdered, not due to debts, but because he was a rat. The investigators are suspicious. They suggest a lie detector test. These aren't technically valid ways of determining a lie, but police will still often use them for investigations. Martinez agrees. He is asked several times if he knows who killed Barragan. Martinez, of course, denies that he killed him. The lie detector's response to Martinez's answers are clear. Deception is indicated.
Okay.
Still, the investigators' hands
got
are
cooked.
tied. Without clear evidence of a confession, they can't pin Martinez down. In the end, the Black Hand once again slips from their grasp.
These niggas suck. Right? These investigators are terrible. You've let him get away four times. Already.
The cigarette
He's like 20.
butt is still in the lab. The police in Florida have other cases to handle, and
And these cops are trash too.
they forgot about those bodies in that trunk. It looks like Martinez can just keep going on forever, but then something happens in Alabama. Early 2013, 35 years after
Snitchy.
the murder of Martinez's sister, 33 years after he shot David Badella for $500, Martinez is now 51 years old. He is once again visiting his daughter in Alabama. He spends a lot of time with his grandchildren, picks them up from school, dresses them up as Disney princesses, and has spa days with them. His daughter knows he's a criminal, but she
Okay.
thinks he's just a smuggler who helps to bring people across the border into.
How is he a good person and a bad person at the same time? Right? Because I guess the death of someone so close to you really could change you like that. But like, he's still. Normally, the people who do this are like
The US.
deranged.
While at her home, Martinez has an idea. He learns that a friend of his daughter's partner needs help collecting a debt. He'll help him, but in reality, he just wants to learn from the friend a little bit about his daughter's partner, Jaime Romero. Is he a good guy? He
Okay.
meets with a friend named Jose Ruiz. In the car,
Jose
Martinez
met
asks
Jose.
Ruiz about his daughter's partner. Ruiz says Romero is okay, but he proceeds to call his girlfriend names and a terrible mother. He doesn't realize it's Martinez's daughter.
Ooh.
And so Martinez decides to forgive him, realizing that we're all human on this rotating rock in the void. And naturally, we can all make mistakes. He patiently tells Ruiz, "Hey, I'm her father, and that's not a kind way to speak about my daughter." No. Martinez decides that Jose Ruiz must die.
Could you imagine, right? You get in a fight with your girl and you start, I can't stand her, bro. She's so annoying and she always does it, always does that. Confiding in a nigga you thought was your friend. And he goes, that's my daughter. I gotta slime you now. You genuinely die behind that.
But not right now. People saw them together, so he returns to California for the time being, and Ruiz is allowed a few more weeks on Earth. On March 4th, 2013, Martinez is back. He goes on a little tour with Romero and Ruiz. They stop to stretch their legs in a remote national park.
No.
Martinez pulls out a gun, points it at Ruiz, and says, "The woman you insulted is my daughter, you bastard." Then he shoots him twice.
He slimed him because he said, "I don't really like her like that, dude." Now this nigga, I can't tell, right? He's like a good person and a bad person, but
He gets back
extremist
in the car
good person.
and tells the shocked Romero to drive
bad
and better
person,
keep
I
this to
guess.
himself. The police quickly discover the dead Ruiz and find a Walmart receipt with him. They review surveillance cameras and identify a companion of Ruiz.
Uh-oh.
It's Romero.
Uh-oh.
He's arrested and suspected of murder. Shortly afterwards, Martinez contacts the police, providing Romero with an alibi and claiming that they were together at the time of the killing.
Uh-oh.
But the police do not believe him, and Romero remains in custody.
This
1 month
nigga
later, Martinez
need
is
catch
visiting
him.
his son in Erlenmar. Suddenly, the police start banging on the door. Martinez is convinced that they are there because of him. Romero must have talked. He flees the house, and a sheriff deputy named Crystal Darrington gives chase. In reality, Martinez had nothing to fear. The police officer doesn't know a thing about the murder in Alabama.
Oh.
She had come to visit Martinez's son because she is investigating a series of robberies and hopes for his assistance. She apprehends Martinez and brings him to the station.
So he cooked
But colleague
himself.
whispers to Darrington that the man she brought in is El Mano Negra, supposedly a contract killer responsible for several murders in the area.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys,
They could arrest Jose Martinez and hold him for being a felon in possession of a gun. And instead, he convinced them to let him go. And he offered to get them, get bad guns off.
You know he's a killer. You know he's killed multiple people. Your colleague said, "Hey, this is El Mano nigga." You decide, low-key, he could be useful, right? Like, he out there killing niggas, but like, low-key, he can help us get guns, though. He can help us get guns. How did he convince you to do that? Does this nigga have charm speak like Aphrodite's child?
The street. We have a lot of guns everywhere. Many of them are legal and many of them are illegal. And so the police were interested in kind of getting illegal guns, and Jose Martinez assisted them with this. They thought it was because he didn't want to get locked up. That may be true, but I think it's also because he kind of wanted to keep tabs on, he knew he'd committed this murder in Alabama. He knew he had all these other murders, and he kind of wanted to keep an eye on, did they suspect him?
As Martinez collaborates with the police in California, an unsolved case in Florida is reopened. It's from 2006.
The
The
cigarette.
murder is of Javier Huerta.
It's buddy.
Investigators finally received the lab report regarding the cigarette butt in the Mountain Dew they found all those years ago. They get a hit. The DNA belongs to a man who had previously been in prison, Jose Manuel Martinez.
They got
A detective named TJ Watts takes on the murder case.
Did they?
At this point, Martinez is still not their primary suspect. But Watts is puzzled by why a Californian cigarette butt would turn up so far away in Florida. He contacts an investigator in California who tells him Martinez's story, that they know him, that he's been helping them collect illegal weapons, and that he's involved in several murder investigations, but that they can't prove anything against him. But then the investigator in California tells Watts a small but crucial detail. Many of the murders involve the use of zip ties. Watts is intrigued. He also has a few unsolved murders on his desk where zip ties were used. He has a strong suspicion that Martinez might be the person he's looking for. He doesn't seem as a useful informant like the colleagues in California do. Watts believes Martinez might just be a killer. He marks him as person of interest.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
That nigga has
Jaime
some brain
Romero
cells.
is still locked up in an Alabama prison, facing accusations for the murder of his friend, Jose Ruiz. He is terrified of his father-in-law. He witnessed his cold-bloodedness firsthand. But he can't go to prison. He has a daughter and a life at home. So he calls for the man in charge, Detective McWhorter, and talks. On May 17th, the investigators finally issue an arrest warrant for Martinez on murder charges.
It's crazy.
When he returns
slime
back to the
him
U.S.
too.
from a trip to Mexico, Martinez is arrested in Arizona. He learns that there's a warrant out for him for murder. His only question is where the warrant came from.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, this nigga had to have killed way more
McWhorter
people.
is the first to hear about Martinez's arrest at the border. He immediately sets off for Arizona to personally bring him back. On the way back to Alabama, they talk about life, the military, and even share a pizza at the airport. McWhorter is surprised at how little Martinez seems to care about being charged with murder. Upon arriving in Alabama, they are met by Detective Watts. He too had jumped on a plane to interrogate Martinez.
Okay.
Neither detective expects Martinez to confess. Perhaps he would spend time in jail and then make a mistake during a phone call from inside. At best, Martinez might admit to being at the crime scene, but try to blame everything on Romero. But things take a different turn. Martinez confesses almost immediately to killing Ruiz. He also confesses
Why? Why? Nigga, you got away with it for so long. What?
to the murder case in Florida. He provides detailed descriptions of the crime scenes, the number of bullets used, and says, if I hadn't done the job, someone else would have. But it
Oh,
doesn't
he's
end
snitching
there.
on Big Dog.
Martinez then asks for Crystal Darrington, the deputy sheriff from Tulare.
Now I understand why they let him get away for so long. This dunderhead right here is not solving any sort of crime, right? I don't know. Deputy sheriff, yeah, she's not solving. She, I don't know. I don't want to be. They're not solving any sort of crime, right? This is terrible uniform.
When
This
she
I don't
arrives
even
in
work.
Alabama, he drops a bombshell. He's a contract killer and has killed numerous people. He goes on to
Why are we
confess to one
snitching
murder
now?
after another.
Why?
Shot him in the head with a 22.
Took my gun and I shot him inside the car in the leg.
Why?
Even killed her brother.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every week. Done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor.
Fresh, never. It was a long list. I mean, Crystal Darrington said that she was just like frantically texting her bosses, like, oh my God, another one, and then like, I think the next day he's like, oh my gosh, I have another one. So it was.
He killed so many people, he forgot.
It was.
That's like when niggas turn into a whore and put their penis inside so many people that they just forget. Know how I muted it with the space
Today,
bar,
it
but
is thought to be over 40.
They went back and reinvestigated all of them. Like, they didn't just take his word for it and tried to make sure it was true. And ultimately, they decided that they believed it.
Martinez is brought to trial for most, but not all of his murders. Some cases couldn't be resolved.
wow.
At the time, he even faces the death penalty, which doesn't seem to worry him.
I know I'm gonna get electrocuted. I don't give a fuck if I die tomorrow.
In the end, Martinez is sentenced to 50 years in prison in Alabama.
And a nigga like this who cared so much about family probably has $1 billion somewhere buried in the ground worth of drugs or just cash. And so now he's like, okay, I've taken care of my family. We don't have to do anything else.
For
I
the
don't
murder
care.
of Ruiz, life in prison without the possibility of parole in California for 9 murders
Hold on. How is he gonna do 2 different sentences? You be putting this thing on a plane back and forth, right?
and 2 consecutive life sentences in Florida.
Look, I know he killed 40 niggas, but how is you gonna make him serve in 3 different penitentiaries, right? You just got, oh, it's your turn to have the murderer. Come on, it's you. Oh, you get him. Oh, no, you get him. Hello?
Martinez certainly didn't make it easy for the police. He left few traces,
Well, those
often
niggas
there
are
were
just
no concrete
dunderheads.
pieces of evidence, and as a hitman, there were usually no direct connections between him and his victims. Especially in the 80s and 90s, police in California had a lot of murders to deal with.
Yeah,
They had limited resources.
gang violence.
But there is also another reason why Martinez wasn't caught for so long.
There are other people who would say, well, he didn't try that hard to get it.
Yeah.
In part because the people that he was
Yo, the cigarette
killing
butt,
were
the
not
cigarette
people that-
butt going for 20 years is bonkers, right? The cigarette butt going for 20 years untested is bonkers. You could have had him like the same time he killed Jalen Huerta. or whatever, Jaden Huerta, whatever his name was.
Created these giant outcry. You know, I mean, he was generally killing people without very much power. And so I think that was sort of one of the heartbreaking things to me when I started working on this, is that I went and found some of the family members of some of his victims. And many of them said over and over, like, it seems like no one cared that our relative was killed.
And they didn't. Now,
so
the first 3 niggas, I'm glad they're gone. The second nigga he killed for $500, the one who was a grape juice enjoyer, I'm glad he's gone too, right? He got rid of some people who needed to go. And then he started killing for money, and that's where I disagree with him.
So I think that to me was sort of the craziest and most heartbreaking part of this case.
Well, video's over. Hopefully y'all liked it, enjoyed it. Leave a comment on what you want me to react to, because low-key, I've been all out of the game for a while, and I don't remember anything good to react to right now. But put some things down in the comments, like and subscribe if y'all want to. And I'll see y'all later, or separate video. Bye-bye.